What is up, y'all? It's your boy, EJ, back with another video, and today we will be doing my revised NFL predictions. So I made my NFL predictions for the 2026 to 2027 NFL season a while ago, but there's been so many offseason moves that I just had to do a revised version of it. So, starting off in the AFC East, we're in last place. I have the New York Jets. Now, their quarterback situation isn't the best with Geno Smith. They have decent running back, wide receiver, and tight end weapons in Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, and Mason Taylor. Three very young players. Defense is getting better with their pick in David Bailey. I expect him to make an immediate impact for this team. I just don't think that will be enough to keep them out of last place. So in third place, I have the Miami Dolphins. Now, the Dolphins, they're a bit of a tricky one. They lost Mike McDaniel to the Chargers, so I feel like that their offense will take a step down. They also got a new quarterback in Malik Willis, but I do think that will make Devon Achan's numbers go down, as Malik Willis is a scramble-first quarterback. Also, they did lose Jalen Waddle, so their wide receiver room is pretty shaky. Defense, still not the best, but I just think that the quarterback room is much better than the Jets. That's why I have them edging out them. That's why I have the Dolphins edging out the Jets. So in second place, I have the New England Patriots. I feel like that the Patriots will not have that kind of season that they had last year, making the Super Bowl, having one of the best records. But I think that they will take a step down, but not a huge step down. I do not think that Drake May's year was a fluke, but I do think that he will also take a step down. They lost Stephon Diggs, and I just think that their offense will be a little bit worse with Drake May, I think, taking a step down. I think that their running game will be a lot better with their coach most likely starting TreVeyon Henderson from the start. So I think that the Patriots will be good, but not have the season as they did last year. So that leaves the number one pick in the Buffalo Bills. I think Josh Allen, James Cook, that duo is just really, really solid. They brought in a good receiver in DJ Moore, and their defense is always solid. So moving on to the NFC East, in last place, it's a tough one for me, but I have the New York Giants. I think that Jackson Dart, Cam Skattebo will have a very solid season together. But the real question is Malik Nabers. What's the deal with him? His leg injury was really bad last year. We will see if he will get to play this season. If he does, I don't think that he will be able to return to what he was like last year. So I think that the Washington Commanders, who I have in third place, will just barely edge out the New York Giants. I think the Commanders will get just continuously worse. Jaden Daniels, I love him as a quarterback. He's a very, very talented quarterback. I just think that the offense around him isn't too solid. The running game isn't too great. The wide receiver room, not too bad. Terry McLaurin, but he is aging fast. And they did bring in Stephon Diggs, who I think will help them in this season, just help the receiving core. But the receiving core is getting old. Their defense, not bad, but not great. So in second place, I have the Dallas Cowboys. I think that this team will take a huge step forward. Dak, I think that he will have an MVP caliber season with George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. Just that great wide receiver room. Javonte Williams, I think, will continue to be a solid running back. And their defense, I feel like, will be a lot better. They picked up Malachi Lawrence and Caleb Downs in the draft. So I think that will help them a lot. But in first place, I have the Philadelphia Eagles. And they lost A.J. Brown in the offseason, but that just opened the door perfectly for Devonta Smith and Mekhi Lemon to slide right in. I feel like Jalen Hurts will continue to be a top 10 quarterback this year. And I also believe that the defense will continue to be very, very solid. The offensive line is getting continuously worse, but I think that they will change that. Just make the offensive line a lot better during this season. So I think that the Eagles will come in first place in their division. So going back to the AFC is the AFC North. In last place, I have the Cleveland Browns. So this team have Shedeur Sanders and Deshaun Watson battling it out in preseason for the starting spot. I personally think that Shedeur Sanders is the better option. And the Browns lost Myles Garrett on the defensive side of the ball. Offensive line not great. They did bring in Casey Concepcion, who I think will slide right into the wide receiver 1 slot, as Jerry Jeudy did not do that well last year. Quinshon Judkins, I think, will continuously get better, and I hope Shedeur Sanders has a good season this year. They did bring in Jared Verse, but losing Myles Garrett in the offseason is a huge downgrade. So, in third place, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers. They still have Aaron Rodgers, so I don't know what the deal is with the quarterback situation. They brought in Rico Dowdle, who I think will help in the running back room, as they lost Kenneth Gainwell, who was one of their main pass catchers. Still have DK Metcalf, brought in Michael Pittman Jr. to give Rodgers another weapon. Offensive line solid, defense solid with TJ Watt. So I think that this team will just be a decent team. I don't think they'll get a wild card slot or anything like that. So, in second place, this might be a little controversial, but I have the Baltimore Ravens. So, Lamar Jackson, obviously a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. Derrick Henry, a solid running back. But Derrick Henry is aging, so I think he will take a step down this year. And I think the offense will get a little bit worse. Zay Flowers, obviously a good receiver, but the Ravens don't really have anyone behind him, so I think that will hurt them. Offensive line, they also lost Tyler Lindenbaum in the offseason, so that is a huge loss for them. Defense, still decent. Roquan Smith, Kyle Hamilton, really decent, really good defense, but I don't think that will be able to edge out the Bengals for the first place spot. So the Bengals have one of the best offenses in the league. I think it can easily be a top 3 offense this year, with Joe Burrow, a top 3 quarterback. Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, arguably, if not the best wide receiver duo in the NFL right now. And the O-line isn't too great, but it is getting better, and they have a decent running back in Chase Brown. The defense is not too good, but the reason I have them in first is they brought in Dexter Lawrence. I think that will be a huge help on the defensive line. I think he will get over 12.5 sacks this year, and I think that will just help the Bengals get first place in the division. So moving back over to the NFC with the NFC North. In last place, I have the Minnesota Vikings. So the Vikings, they replaced J.J. McCarthy and brought in Kyler Murray. They have a top 5 receiver, and still, in my opinion, Justin Jefferson. Their running back room is kind of sketchy. Still have Jordan Mason, who I think will start out week 1 as the starter. But I don't think that he will put up the numbers as a regular starting running back. And the defense is not too great. I think really the only good part of this team is Justin Jefferson. Kyler Murray will be a huge upgrade at quarterback, but I just don't think that this defense will help out enough. So, in the number 3 spot, I have the Green Bay Packers, who may even get a wild card spot in third place here. a good quarterback in Jordan Love, good running back in Josh Jacobs, Matthew Golden, Christian Watson. That receiving core isn't the best, but I think it is pretty decent. I think those will give Jordan Love decent weapons to throw to. Defense, obviously, really good. Still have Micah Parsons. I'm not sure if he will be healthy to start off week 1, but once he gets healthy, I feel like that he will do really well this year. So in second place, I have the Chicago Bears. This team, very underrated. Their quarterback, Caleb Williams, a very good young quarterback. They have Rome Odunze and Luther Burden, who I expect to break out this year. And the defense is actually pretty decent. So I feel like this team just really, really solid, just has a really solid core. And with Ben Johnson as their head coach, I feel like this offense could also end up being top 5. But in first place, I have the Detroit Lions. Just a great team overall. Jared Goff, very decent quarterback. Amon-Ra St. Brown, amazing wide receiver. Jahmyr Gibbs, in my opinion, the best running back in the NFL. Laporta should be healthy. And Jahmyr Gibbs lost David Montgomery in the offseason, which is a good thing and a bad thing. The good thing is that Jahmyr Gibbs will now have a full workload. But the bad thing is that they did bring in Isaiah Pacheco. I just don't think that will bring in that goal line punch that David Montgomery used to bring. They have Jameson Williams, a very young, very fast receiver. And the defense is very good with that amazing safety core in Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph. So, moving on to going back to the AFC is the AFC South. Now, the AFC South is a pretty decent division in my opinion. In fourth place, I have the Colts. Now, the Colts, obviously, Daniel Jones was a really good quarterback until he got hurt. I feel like he will be healthy to start week 1, but I don't think that he will live up to what he did last year. I feel like that he will take a step down, but still be a solid quarterback. Have a top 5 running back in Jonathan Taylor. Lost Michael Pittman, but that just opens up the door perfectly for Alec Pierce and Josh Downs to shine. The defense isn't great, but isn't too bad either. So, in third place, I have the Tennessee Titans. I think Cam Ward and Carnell Tate will show an instant connection. I think Cam Ward will take a huge step forward, and I think Carnell Tate will have a great rookie year. Other than that, this team is very young, still developing, and just not a terrible not a terrible unit overall. In second place, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence showed what he can do in the last part of last season. Lost ETN, but they still have Bishal Tootin, who I think will be a decent running back this year. I think Brian Thomas Jr. will have a bounce back year after not that great of a year that he did last year. I think Parker Washington will also have a good year as probably the new wide receiver too. The defense is still decent. Not top 10 or anything, but I would say maybe a top 15, top 20 unit. But one of probably one of the best teams in the NFL for me, the Houston Texans. I think C.J. Stroud will have a great year. The running back core bringing in David Montgomery along with Woody Marks will take a huge step forward. Nico Collins, obviously a great receiver. And the defense, I believe, to be the best defense in the NFL. I feel like that the Texans are one of the Super Bowl contenders this year. So moving back over to the NFC, is the NFC South. So in last place, I have the New Orleans Saints. Tyler Shough will have a bounce back year for me. Chris Olave, obviously a good receiver for me. And they brought in Jordan Tyson in the draft, who I think will slide right in perfectly at wide receiver too. And this defense isn't bad, but isn't too good either. So I think that will only put them to a last place finish. So in third place, I have the Atlanta Falcons. So the Falcons, I feel they have the second best running back in the NFL in Bijan Robinson. And they have Drake London, a great receiver. And they brought in Tua, who is going to start at quarterback. I don't know if Michael Penix will be available to fight with Tua for the starting role. But this team just not terrible, not great. The defense is holding them back, even though they have A.J. Terrell and Jesse Bates. So, in second place, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So, actually, no, I have the Bucs in third place and the Falcons in second. The Buccaneers lost Mike Evans in the offseason. I think that will be a huge loss for them. They still have Emeka Egbuka, and Baker's getting up there in age. So I don't think that he will have that that's decent performance that he always has every year. The defense, not terrible, but not great. So, in first place, I have the Carolina Panthers. Bryce Young, I feel like he will continue to take steps forward. Tedero McMillan, I think it's the same for him. And this running back core, they lost Rico Dowdle. So maybe they will start Jonathan Brooks over Chuba Hubbard to try and get him to develop as well as a very young running back. And the defense, I feel like, isn't terrible, but not good either. The defense, just a solid, good unit. Nothing special or anything like that. But for the final two divisions, going to the AFC West, in last place, I have the Las Vegas Raiders. They picked Mendoza up in the draft. They have Genty, picked up Tyler Lindenbaum, which I hope will be a huge help for Genty. But the only thing holding them back is the defense. I don't think that this defense will be good this year. I feel like that they will give up a lot of points, and then this offense won't be able to bring it back. So in third place, I have the Denver Broncos. The Broncos have, in my opinion, the third best defense in the NFL. Bo Nix, he got a bad injury in a playoff game, and I hope he is available to start week 1. They picked up Jalen Waddle in the offseason, which I hope will be a sneaky good pickup for them. I think Jalen Waddle will have a good season this year. I feel like their running back room with R.J. Harvey and J.K. Dobbins will be decent as well. So in second place, I have the Kansas City Chiefs. They picked up Kenneth Walker, which is a huge pickup. They needed a good running back, and that's what's been holding them back for the past few seasons, because Pacheco just wasn't getting the job done for them. So bringing in the reigning Super Bowl MVP is huge. Patrick Mahomes, obviously a top 5 quarterback. Rashee Rice, if he can get away from those legal problems and be able to start week 1, I think him and Xavier Worthy will make a good 1-2 punch. Kelsey, getting up there in age, still a solid tight end, but I feel like he's going to retire after this season. And the defense, I really like what they picked up in Mansour Delane to help out that cornerback room. So that leaves first place, which is the LA Chargers. I think that the Chargers will have a great year. Justin Herbert, I feel like, is a top 10 quarterback. Omarion Hampton has top 10 running back potential. Ladd McConkey is a very, very young, solid receiver. And Quentin Johnston is pretty good, as we saw last year. We saw what he can do. This defense, still very good. This offensive line, I believe to be a top 5 unit. If this offensive line can stay healthy with Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater, I think that this team might go on a deep playoff run. So that leaves the final division, which is the NFC West. In last place, I have the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals are going to have to start Jacoby Brissett. And I feel like that this quarterback is just not going to get the job done for them. Have very young pieces, though. And Jeremiah Love at running back, Marvin Harrison and Michael Wilson at wide receiver, and the best tight end in football, in my opinion, Trey McBride at tight end. Offensive line have Paris Johnson Jr., but I don't think that this offensive line will be, just won't be anything special, just will be a solid unit. And then this defense, I feel like, is what's holding them back. This defense is not good. So I feel like if they can get a quarterback, maybe trade for one in the middle of the season or something like that, they might be able, or just wait another season, give this team a couple seasons, and this team will be in playoff contention. So in third place, I have the San Francisco 49ers. Brock Purdy, a really solid quarterback. Mike Evans, they picked up Mike Evans in the offseason to help with that wide receiver room, and Christian McCaffrey, a top 3 running back. And he can also help out that receiving room because he is one of the best running backs at catching passes. And this defense, decent, but not great, but not bad either. So in second place, I have the reigning Super Bowl champs, the Seattle Seahawks. I feel like Sam Darnold will not have the same season he had last season. JSN, I feel like he will still have a good season. And Rashid Shaheed, I feel like, is one of the most underrated wide receiver 2s in the NFL. They lost Kenneth Walker. So that is a huge problem for them. I feel like this defense is the second best in the NFL. I feel I am a big believer in Jadarian Price, though. But I don't think that Jadarian Price as a rookie will do. I feel like he will do good, but not the same numbers as Kenneth Walker was putting up. So that leaves the Los Angeles Rams, who I have coming in first place. This Rams team is just insane. They have Matthew Stafford as the reigning MVP. I feel like he is just one of the best quarterbacks in the league, just all around passing. Then you have Kyren Williams, a very solid running back. Puka Nacua and Davante Adams, a very, very good wide receiver core. Offensive line is decent, and defense is very, very good. I feel like they have the 4th best defense in the NFL. They picked up Trent McDuffie in the offseason, and they picked up Myles Garrett. You know what? I'm changing that. I put the Rams at 2, Texans at 1, Seahawks at 3, and Broncos at 4 in terms of defensive rankings. And the Rams have a chance to get Aaron Donald to come out of retirement. He's only 35, so he could still play with these people. So that would make them have the best defensive line in the NFL. If that happens, I would switch the Rams to the best defense in the NFL and the Texans to the second best. So make sure to comment down below if you disagree with any of these picks. That is all I have for you today. I will catch you in the next one. EJ, out.